It's a chilly morning today.
This is awesome. This one's rocky and rolly, isn't it? We're on the track into Weeli Wooli Springs, and it's been about 30 kilometers now of dirt so far, and it has all been graded mining roads. You could get a bloody Mazda 2 back here without any dramas. We're about 4.2 kilometers away from the springs themselves. There's still mining exploration tracks everywhere, off to the right, off to the left. It's a hive of activity out here.
We've been past like huge power lines and train lines,
Yeah.
mining vehicles, refueling stations for mining vehicles, geoscience BHP bulletin trucks.
And we're in the middle of frigging nowhere and still have phone signal. So that goes to show you, they have sunk some money into the infrastructure around this place.
We're almost at Weeli Wooli Springs. Check out the sound of the water going through the pipeline. There's like a big viewing deck thing here. It's just pulled up. There's at the end of the viewing deck we're standing on. Beautiful water pumping out. You can smell it. That is a lot of water.
Just past the water pipeline that's pumping water into Weeli Wooli Springs. And now we're going down this track, which I believe starts to ford the creeks. Yes, indeed. Yes, this is it. Oh, look at that. Was that ever cool?
Cattail fluffs and great big fluff ball things in the treetops. Hello, Weeli Wooli Creek.
Just driving along the edge of Weeli Wooli Springs looking for a camp for the night.
We have pulled up and set up camp at Weeli Wooli Springs now. Terry, as is per usual, straight into the water with a beer, because why not? And oh, you can see my shadow. I've got the sun behind me. And we came in down there, I don't know, a couple 100 meters, and just drove down here to make sure if someone else comes that we aren't bothering them and they won't be bothering us. I have fried chicken tonight and fried potatoes, and it's going to be delicious. And how are you feeling out there, Terry?
Amazing. These rocks have growth on them, but they're not slimy. They're grippy as anything, which amazes me.
Yeah, because they look like they'd be slimy. I'm going to film them.
And my hands were completely red, and I've been scrubbing them on the non-slimy rocks, and I got white palms again.
Okay.
So I think there's restorative properties to this water.
I don't think so.
Thank you, Yerduba, for sharing your waters. We mean you no harm.
Beautiful waters they are. Dinner's cooking. How you doing?
Oh, I'm in my happy place. 1, dinner's cooking. 2, I'm camped beside fresh water. 3, I'm with the woman I love. And 4, I got a drink in my hand.
And it's a perfect temperature, really.
Perfect temperature.
Yeah, and we haven't got flies and mosquitoes drilling into our orifices, or midgies either.
No.
At the moment, so I don't know if it's handover or what. We've had a few little flies, but not bad at all, and I'm deep frying chicken, so...
If they're going to be around, they'd be all over you.
Oh yeah, definitely. So we will keep fingers, toes, and eyes crossed. Have a look out to the water. Can't stop looking.
How good is it when you can camp, sit in your camp chair,
1 meter from the water's edge.
Yeah, that's awesome. And a snappy's not going to get you or something? Terry's tucked up behind the truck doing some video editing. I just came around the corner, and what do I see? We have a little visitor in camp. You're at Weeli Wooli. Hi, Guy. Isn't he beautiful? We won't hurt you.
Well, I knocked over another episode. That's rendering, and that'll be uploaded to YouTube shortly. Jill, what are you doing?
I'm doing meal prep for when we go on the CSR.
Nice.
Grocery list, food prep. I list out every item so I can tick it off, or it's really easy to forget things. So I've got lunch options, breakfast options, dinner options, and then I mark it off each day when we have that.
Oh, yeah, cool.
So, yeah.
So you're organized. I'm going to go for a walk down the river while that's rendering, and I'm not going to render a hand with Jill. See ya, hun.
That was a groan.
That was a groaner. There's a little footpath that sort of wanders through all of these paper barks, which are immediately adjacent to the river. We had this place all to ourselves last night. There was not another soul. There isn't yet. It's around midday. I fully expect we'd probably see somebody later, but while we've got it to ourselves, we will take it. I don't have a polarizing filter on this GoPro, so it might not show the water, but the clarity is unbelievable. Crystal clear, and it's got a real blue tinge to it. The cattails are flowering or blooming, and all of the fuzzies off of the cattails are stuck everywhere. Look at that. That's very cool. Unfortunately, they're going up my nose as well. Just like we saw in Bee Gorge, that's all scattered with iron pellets. Real little round nodules of iron. Look at this little postcard that somebody has painted. Kind of reminds me of Cape York a little bit, and some of the rivers that go through Cape York. Crystal clear water flowing all over these little waterfalls everywhere. Just look at the clarity of that water. Boy, oh boy. All the rock through these Weeli Wooli Springs is all of this aggregate stuff. So it's like rounded, washed river rock that has been cemented together. So what do I think about Weeli Wooli Springs? I would put it in one of the top 5 places that we visited so far on this trip. I'm not impressed with it. Boy, oh boy. WA, you turned it on. Just unbelievable. And have a look at this massive palm that's here. It's got 1, 2, 3 stalks in it, but it's enormous. You kind of get surprises around every corner at this place.
It's a chilly morning today.
Relative to the air temperature, the water's not bad.
Oh, I'm amazed.
I don't want to get out and get the wind on me though.
How dirty the container is. Pilbara red.
It is.
Forecast called for windy today and tomorrow, and they nailed it.
Let's start the truck up and go find those 4-wheel drive tracks.
Okay, sounds great.
Well, we have broken camp and we are heading out. But before we leave Weeli Wooli Springs, we're going for a little of explore. So we came across the water crossing and we turned left, which is upstream, and we camped as far upstream as possible. Now there's a whole bunch of camps downstream as well, and including a few water crossings. So we're going to head downstream just to check those out before we leave. I do like camping upstream because if people are doing the wrong thing in the water, you're up at the very top and you don't get any of that. If you're downstream and people are doing the wrong thing, you cop the lot. It's like driving through a jungle. It's pretty cool.
I feel like we're in Georgia or something with the kikuyu or whatever it is hanging from the trees.
Yeah. Well, we have gone up and down the riverside tracks. The only other track that you've got is the main road, which does cross the river about 1 kilometer away. We are going to pull the pin here, though, and head into Newman. We've got a few reprovisioning to do before we head off to our next destination, which, all things going well, will be Kalgan Pool. We have just visited Newman and reprovisioned. It's a sad town, actually. It's got its struggles. There's a big gap between the haves and the have-nots in that town, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. We're on the Marble Bar Road, heading towards the Calgan Pool turnoff. We visited the tourist center or the visitor center. We've got our permit to allow us to access the BHP road, which you need access to get into the Calgan Pool. So that's where we're heading. The young lass at the visitor center did tell me that it is signed from the road sometimes, because sometimes the locals pull the signs down. So probably to keep tourists out and keep it to themselves, which I can understand. Regardless, we're going to find our way in there and we'll visit Calgan Pool.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it. I'm hungry.
I'm starving. Jill bought us some salads too, and we haven't had greens in a long time. We're probably very close to suffering scurvy. We are now on the Kalgan Pools Road. It was signposted from the main road, from the bitumen. The visitor center in Newman's pretty good at showing you exactly where to turn off as well, so you can't really get lost. We're just at the very, very start of it, and I think we've got probably 15 or 20 kilometers to go to get to some of the water crossings that start at Kalgan Pool. My understanding is that this water is not natural, as in it's not a natural spring, but it is water from the underground table that the mines have pumped out, and the mines have got it running down these creeks. And I think the reason they're pumping this water out is as their pit gets deeper, they don't want to risk the flooding of those pits, so they've got to drop the water table, and this is how they do it. They just dump it down the rivers. This is the main sort of 500 meter long or so river crossing where you run down the middle of the river at Kalgan Pool. This is awesome. That's so good. Want more of those. We got another water section here, or is the track turning away? That's another crossing. Woohoo! Love it, the crossing. Rocky and rolly, isn't it? I can't
see the end yet.
You sure we're in the right spot?
Positive. We've gone through all the water crossings now, and we're still heading towards Kalgan's Pool, about 2.5 km away. And a fire's gone through this area and burnt everything out. It's very stark.
Coming to set up camp at Kalgan Pool. Check out the scenery. Look at the ladder up this tree and the rope swings. I'm not going up there. No, thank you.
Camp deployed.
Another ripper campsite.
Yeah.
Here we are at Kalgan Pool. There's two campsites. There's one on the other side of the water, and there's this one a little bit further downstream. And this is the more difficult one to get to, so we had to choose it, of course. But have a look at the view here that we have got on this rock face. It just keeps going up and up and up and up. What a monster. Just got her book, and she's rugged up because we've got a pretty chilly breeze coming through. And this is what the water looks like. It's actually pretty clear. Apparently this is a permanent water hole. I don't know how far it would get down, but you can see how far it goes up. It's probably about a meter down the cliff, or 750 mil down the cliff. But my, oh my, it's awesome.
The GoPro if you want to go for a swim and find out.
I may go for a swim, but that remains to be seen. I'm not sure yet, Jill. But I'm just gonna sip on a cold drink at the moment and take it all in.
Hello.
Hey, I am in a artesian water spring, and I can tell you that water from the center of the earth is not that warm, even though there's all those tectonic forces down there. Maybe it's cooled off when it got up here, I don't know. It's pretty chilly. Well, we were set up at Kalgan Pool, ready to camp, and we had a whole bunch of locals move in, and got the chainsaws out, and
Got ready for a party.
got the carton of beer out, ready for a big party. So we had to bug out.
Yeah.
We could have stayed, but I don't know, it just
We were downwind from the smoke, and it was going to be a bonfire.
So we came back up to Calgan Creek, and we're camped on the edge of Calgan Creek in the middle of nowhere, in a tiny little spot where nobody else can get to.
There are other people out and about, but respectfully distant from each other.
Yeah, exactly. A few hundred meters down the creek or up the creek.
Yep. All right, well, I'm going to make our tea now.
Ham off the bone on sourdough bread.
Yeah.
Now, can you get me out of here?
No. I'm going to be busy.
All right.
Bye.
I'll extricate myself.
Bye.
Bye. Back at Kalgan Pool, and we're going to take a little four-wheel drive track just before you get to the pool, which goes to a lookout over top of the pool. At some point in this track's existence, a grader's been over it because all the heap piles are pushed up on either side. A bit rocky and scrabbly through here. It's nasty sharp rocks too. I don't like those ones so much. And you're on an angle to boot, which is always fun to feel. the sun.
I'm gonna film me trying to climb up this thing that Terry just drove up. Scrabbly, scrapey. Excuse me, a bug just flew in my throat. I gotta climb up higher now. I walked past the truck. Still choking. Skidded. Tire tracks up here. Still going and going. Inappropriate footwear or what? Okay, here we go.
I believe this is the final push to the summit. Jill's up at the top, filming us coming up. I got both the front and rear lockers in for this stuff. It's just really scrabbly and melon holes again on the opposite wheel tracks. So diff lock in, walk up nice and slow, no damage. Thanks for walking up the mountain, hon.
You're welcome.
Well, Jill, do you think the locals are still down there having their party?
Yeah.
Probably sleeping off a big night. We're very much nearing the terminus of the track that overlooks Kalgan Pool. It's a cliff face on one side of the pool, but the pool itself is on this side. So we will be directly above it. Some fire pits out here. It would be a chilly old spot if it was windy.
It is windy.
And it's chilly. There we are at the top of the lookout. Let's peek over the edge and see what we can see. Hello. Calgan's Pool is just down below, but you can't see it because it's tucked so tight into the cliff. So we have to throw the drone over the edge. Whew. That is an icy breeze. I just had a shiver down my spine. Heading, I guess it's in a northwesterly direction to a rock hole called Eagle Rock Water Hole, or Eagle Rock Hole. Kalgan Pool is behind us. This track is actually being graded. It's beautiful.
Just as we come to all these washouts.
We can see the water pipeline for the mine off in the distance. And I read in our materials somewhere that this track eventually links up with the track that runs along that water pipeline. The country through here is just stunning though. My goodness. Vistas in all directions. And here is our sign to Eagle Rock.
Are we doing the Eagle Rock
track? Yes, we are. We've been running along the Kalgan Pool track, and we've just now joined up with the, I don't know what the road's called, but it has the mining water pipeline run alongside of it. And check this out. They've just sort of laid it on the ground and it snakes along. It's made of like an extruded plastic or something like that. And I can't feel anything running through it, so it's either not running or I just can't feel it. That's the Kalgan Pool track back to Kalgan Pool, and this is the maintenance road for that water pipeline. So we should be able to make a little bit better speed now because we're on a proper formed road, in quotation marks. We are at Eagle Rock
pool. I guess there's the rock, there's the pool. Nope, no eagles. Jill's hiding from the flies, and I think she's doing a Facebook post. Is that right? I just did some video editing, and I'm about to have a drink, I think. Maybe I'll put the drone up first. What?
Please. Watch this. Ew. Ooh. What is that, Tare?
That is ferritic dust, also known as iron.
Yup. Sticking to the magnets on the rhino hide. And it looks like we have creepy caterpillar things on the truck. I stare at them all the time. I'm kind of creepy, like I have a creepy friend. It's just all dust.
Yep.
Ooh, I have the green dancing fairies again. They're on my chair.
Are they?
Yeah, the green. I look like a dragonfly or, I don't know, some kind of floating creature. Probably apt.
An incident-free drive today, and we didn't even pass one single tourist. We passed a couple of mining vehicles, but not a single tourist out here. So I don't know where people are, but they're not here, which I guess suits us just fine.
Very peaceful.